Are the Atlanta Falcons a real playoff team in 2025? That's the question everyone's asking, because right now they might be the most confusing team in football. One week they look like they can beat anybody, the next they look like they don't even belong. On the same field, they've shut down Josh Allen and the Bills in one of the most complete wins of the season, and then turned around and got humiliated 30-0 by the Carolina Panthers. They've had games where Penix Jr. looks like the future of the franchise, and others, where you're wondering if he's even ready to start. So what are the Atlanta Falcons really? A playoff contender on the rise, or just another mirage? The Falcons sit at 3-3 right now, and that perfectly sums up their season. Completely unpredictable. They've had huge statement wins, like that 24-14 victory over Buffalo, where they controlled the game from start to finish, but they've also dropped winnable matchups, like the 20-10 loss to a 49ers team that was missing half its starters. They blew out the Vikings, beat the Commanders, and then got shut out by Carolina. Every time you think you figured them out, they flipped the script. But even through all the inconsistency, there's one undeniable bright spot in Atlanta: Bijan Robinson. He's been everything the Falcons hoped for and more. The offense runs through him, literally. And when he's rolling, this team looks unstoppable. His Monday Night Football performance against the Bills was unreal. 170 rushing yards, 68 more receiving, and one of the longest touchdown runs of the entire season. 238 total yards from scrimmage, the most by any Falcons running back in franchise history. His combination of burst, patience, and vision makes him nearly impossible to defend, and you can tell the team feeds off his energy. When Bijan is on, the Falcons can control the clock, dominate time of possession, and make life easy for Penix Jr. But when teams slow him down, that's when the offense starts to sputter. Still, Bijan's been so explosive that he's already being mentioned in the same breath as Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry. He's that good, and he's not doing it alone. Drake London has quietly become one of the better young wide receivers in football. His size and catch radius make him a nightmare matchup, and he's finally starting to put everything together. He had over 100 yards against Buffalo and has been the clear top target in this passing game. London is developing that chemistry with Penix that every great quarterback wide receiver duo needs. And when he's locked in, you can see flashes of a future number one receiver who could anchor this offense for years. Around him, you've got Kyle Pitts, who's finally getting healthy and showing glimpses of that elite potential again, and Darnell Mooney, who's added much needed speed and separation, period. Together, this group has the talent to be dangerous. The problem isn't talent, it's consistency. That's been especially true at quarterback. Penix Jr., the rookie first-round pick, has shown both promise and growing pains. In his first full year as the starter, he's had moments where he looks calm, accurate, and confident, like in the Bills win, where he threw for around 250 yards and played mistake-free football. But then there are games like the shutout loss to Carolina, where he completed just half his passes through 2 interceptions, including his first career pick 6, and looked overwhelmed by the moment. Statistically, Atlanta's offense has been moving the ball really well. They're top 10 in total yards this season. But here's the issue: all that movement isn't translating into points. They're bottom 10 in scoring. It's the kind of stat that tells the whole story. They can move the ball between the 20s, but once they hit the red zone, everything changes. Drives stall, penalties kill momentum, and they often settle for field goals. Whether it's conservative play calling or execution errors, they just haven't been able to finish drives. The Falcons are also very dependent on the run game when they're able to pound the rock. With Bijan, they can wear defenses down and keep Penix comfortable with play action, but when defenses load the box and force Penix to beat them through the air, things get shaky. That's what happened in the 49ers game. San Francisco stuffed the run early, took away easy throws, and made Penix carry the offense, and Atlanta only managed 10 points. Until the passing game becomes more reliable, that formula is going to keep haunting them. But while the offense has been inconsistent, the defense has been the complete opposite. It's been incredible, maybe the biggest turnaround in the entire league. Last year, Atlanta's defense was bottom tier. This year, they're leading the entire NFL in total yards allowed per game. No, that's not a typo, as the Atlanta Falcons are statistically the #1 defense in football right now. They've completely changed their identity. Against Buffalo, they held Josh Allen to just 157 passing yards, forced 2 turnovers, and sacked him 4 times. They made one of the best. Offenses in football look completely ordinary, and this wasn't a fluke. They've been doing it all year. This defense is fast, physical, and plays with confidence. Rookie edge rusher Jalon Walker has been one of the breakout stars. He's already showing why the Falcons drafted him high. Explosive off the edge, relentless motor, and the ability to pressure quarterbacks consistently. In that Bills game, he led the team in pressures, and he's been a huge part of their improved pass rush. But it's not just him. They're getting production from everywhere. 4 different players recorded sacks against Buffalo and the teams. Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich has been dialing up some really creative blitz packages that keep offenses guessing. The linebackers have also been flying around. Divine Diablo has been one of their top tacklers. And tone setters, though losing him to an arm injury last week could hurt, Ajay Terrell continues to be a lockdown corner on the outside, rarely giving up big plays, and the safety group has quietly been solid, providing better communication and tackling than we've seen in recent years. The most impressive part is how deep this defense feels. Even when players go down, backups step in and keep the energy up. They've got a collective confidence that wasn't there last year. A belief that they can stop anyone. They've proven they can shut down top-tier quarterbacks like Josh Allen, though the San Francisco loss did show they can still be vulnerable to elite running backs like Christian McCaffrey, who gashed them for nearly 200 total yards. But overall, this defense has kept Atlanta in games and given them a real identity. For once, the defense is actually leading the way. And that's why this team is so frustrating, because the pieces are clearly there. The problem is, it depends on which version of the Falcons you get. Are you getting the team that dismantled Buffalo in prime time, or the one that looked lifeless against Carolina? Are you getting the Penix, who looks like a franchise quarterback, or the one who throws 2 picks and struggles to read? Defenses, it's truly been a tale of 2 teams. The Falcons can look like Super Bowl contenders one week and a rebuilding project the next. Good teams find ways to win the games they should. Atlanta hasn't quite figured that out yet. Another thing holding them back is efficiency. All those yards and time of possession don't mean much if you can't score. Atlanta has been one of the least efficient offenses in the red zone, and that has to change. Add in a few too many penalties, some costly turnovers, and a young quarterback still adjusting to NFL speed, and you've got the recipe for their inconsistency. Injuries haven't helped either. Penix scared fans when he limped off after a hit against San Francisco, and given his injury history from college, that's always something to watch. Diablo's injury on defense also tests their depth, and while this team has more talent and balance than last year, it's not deep enough to absorb a bunch of major losses. So where does that leave them? Right now, the Falcons sit 3rd in the NFC South behind the Buccaneers and the Panthers. The Bucs are 5-1, and Carolina's looked better than anyone expected, but it's still early, and the NFC playoff race is wide open. If Atlanta can string together wins and find some rhythm, they're absolutely in the mix for a wild card spot. The formula is there. Run the ball with Bijan, play great defense, and ask your young quarterback to manage the game and make plays when needed. That's a proven way to win in December. And there's plenty of reason for optimism. This team has already shown they can hang with and beat top teams. When they're clicking, they look like a playoff team. The defense is elite. Bijan is playing at an all-pro level, and the young offensive core of Penix, London, and Pitts gives them a foundation to build around. If they clean up the mistakes, this could be the start of something special, but at the same time, they haven't earned that trust yet. Every time fans start to believe, Atlanta has a way of pulling the rug out. As one analyst said, they've got the nation's attention. But now it's about consistency. If they can find that, this team absolutely has the talent to make the playoffs and maybe even win a game once they get there. But until they do, the question remains, are they for real or just another tease? The truth is, the Falcons have shown flashes of greatness, but flashes don't make a playoff. Team sustained success does, and we're about to find out if they can sustain it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to drop a like. It helps more than you think. And hit that subscribe button for more deep dives on every NFL team this season. And tell me in the comments, do you think the Falcons are a legit playoff contender, or will they fall apart down the stretch? I read every single one.